It is a non-governmental, non-partisan, and non-profit organization that promotes anti-corruption, public accountability, transparency, good governance, democracy, and human rights issues. We are here to address you on a very important issue. The investigator appointed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to probe the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. So I'm going to read the text of the press conference. First and foremost, we commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for mustering courage to direct this historic probe of Godwin Emefiele, the SAC governor of Central Bank of Nigeria. Also worthy of commendation is Mr. Jim Obazi, the special investigator who has done an excellent job without fear or favor. As a civil society organization, we can't keep silent or take a neutral stand in the face of this mind-boggling corruption scandal. We therefore wholeheartedly agree with Mr. Bayo Onaniga and other well-meaning and patriotic Nigerians, including development partners and international community, that the SAC governor of Nigeria's Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele, must not get away with the monumental allegation of illegalities leveled against him, including cases that border on treason, terrorism financing, breaching CBN Acts, personal aggrandizement and illicit enrichment of cronies, stealing and outright plunder by Jim Obazi, the special investigator. Lest we forget, Nigerians cannot simply forget how CBN under Emefiele haphazardly implemented Naira resign policy, otherwise referred by some experts as money confiscation. This ill-thought policy did not only aggravate the suffering of Nigerian citizens, where people started sleeping on ATM queues to the extent that riots broke out in some states, but also was characterized by lack of transparency, accountability, and political brouhaha. After reading the Obazi report, we are dumbfounded to learn that Emefiele did not even get the approval of the then President Buhari or recommendation by the board of CBN as provided in Section 19 of the CBN Act 2007. Yet, he went ahead and implemented a policy that supported Nigeria. Very unfortunate to have learned from the report that it was Tunde Sabiu who directed Emefiele to redesign the Naira. Concerning the issue of waste and means fraud, another major reason why Emefiele and his accomplices must be prosecuted is the way and manner they police Nigeria in the name of waste and means financing. Based on Obazi reports, Emefiele could not account about 17.369 trillion naira. The waste and means which compounded Nigeria's debt was a scam. It was a conduit through which Emefiele and his co-travelers swindled Nigeria. Other sins of Emefiele include he was once accused of financing a terrorist organization. He was also alleged to operate 593 offshore accounts without approval of the President and Board of Central Bank of Nigeria. Acquisition of banks by proxy, which is another sin committed by the former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele. Outright stealing of cash from Abuja branch of Central Bank of Nigeria among others. The question to ask are, which civilized country on this earth that desires development will condone what Emefiele and his accomplices did? Is this kind of scam that is retarding our development as a nation? Is that the reason for our poverty, ignorance, insecurity, debt, and widening inequality? Don't forget, recently we read in the national dailies where the National Security Advisor, Madam Roberto, was saying that Nigeria was facing budget constraint. Is it the reason why Nigeria is facing budget constraints? Is it the reason why Nigeria is almost technically bankrupt? Because personally, I'm of the opinion that no country can survive the kind of monumental corruption being perpetrated. Sorry to say, this kind of corruption was perpetrated at Central Bank of Nigeria. We all know what is Central Bank of Nigeria. Central Bank of Nigeria is not a small institution. It's one of the highest institutions in the country. Yet we are facing this kind of scam. So it's very unfortunate. That's why we are expressing our concern. Call to action. Many Nigerians are losing hope in the fight against corruption. This is because there are many reports on grand corruption scandals in Nigeria, but nothing has been done to bring the perpetrators to book. This is why we expect the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to show the difference in the fight against the hydra-headed monster called corruption. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should be courageous to allow for unfettered investigation and bring whoever is involved or responsible to the book. We cannot continue going after scapegoats and shielding the big masquerade behind the action. Recently, Brazil and nearby Mauritania have set example on how to deal with those who provided the leadership cover for corruption, like what happened in this case under Pro. Leadership is about responsibility, and those who gave approvals to Emefiele or kept him in office despite wrecking the economy should be made to answer for their misdeeds. We know that the beneficiaries of Emefiele misdeeds may try to subvert the cause of justice. Here we urge our respected judges and lawyers not to allow themselves to be used by thieves of our national cake to change the cause of justice. Equally important, all Nigerians, regardless of our tribe, geographical location, political affiliation,